All right, imagine this. Telescopes across the planet are locked in on one mysterious name, 3I Atlas. It's the third interstellar traveler we've ever spotted after Oumuamua and Borisov. But this one is different. When NASA first spotted it, they thought, hey, another cool space rock passing by. But then this object isn't acting like any comet or asteroid in history. If this gave you chills, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with your best people right now. Let's make the whole world talk about 3I Atlas. It's moving in ways that make no sense, as if it's rewriting the rule book of space itself. Is usually stay calm. They're losing sleep. This isn't just another rock drifting through space. 3I Atlas is making the most brilliant minds on Earth question everything we thought we knew about the cosmos. And here's the kicker. This is just the beginning, Here's where things start to feel straight out of a sci-fi movie. After 3I Atlas was first detected, NASA's Deep Space Tracking Network picked up something they'd never seen before. The object wasn't just cruising through space. It was slowing down gently, consistently, like someone or something was hitting the brakes. Comets don't do that. Asteroids don't do that. Nothing in nature behaves like this. The more observatories checked, the more impossible it got. Every telescope around the world confirmed the same thing. This isn't random motion. It's calculated, controlled. It's like the object itself knows where it wants to go. And if that's true, then we might not just be watching a space rock, we might be witnessing technology. This next part blew scientists away. When the James Webb Space Telescope locked its powerful eyes on 3I Atlas, it found something that made zero sense. The object isn't dense like a comet should be. In fact, it's so light, it's almost hollow. Natural space rocks are solid, heavy, but this thing, it's like an empty shell drifting through the void. Even more shocking, it's spinning with perfect stability. No wobble, no drift, nothing. That shouldn't be possible for a natural object. And one astrophysicist even said, either this thing is made of some unknown material, or it was built. That single word, built, turned what was just a space story into something much, much bigger. Off just before 3I Atlas made its close pass near Mars, every major space agency was ready. NASA, ESA, China, all their spacecraft were in perfect position to collect high-resolution data. And then poof, the data stream went dark. No images, no readings, no explanations. Officially, they blamed technical delays, but behind the scenes, scientists whispered a different story. The instruments worked fine. The silence wasn't a glitch. It was deliberate. We've seen this before with other interstellar visitors. The moment things get weird, the information starts disappearing. And this time, that blackout came just as 3I Atlas was closest to another planet. Coincidence? Yeah. No one's buying that. This is the part that has the space community on edge. Every calculation said 3I Atlas would swing by and then shoot back into the stars like the others before it. But that's not what happened. Instead, it slowed down again. The new data shows it drifting toward a stable orbit between Mars and Jupiter. Let that sink in. An interstellar object might actually be staying inside our solar system. No other visitor has ever done this. Think about it. This isn't a rock just passing through. It's acting like it's parking, like it chose to be here. And if it's truly locking into orbit, this isn't just a discovery. This could be history being written right in front of us, Okay, this part is where things go from weird to straight up chilling. 3I Atlas didn't just appear out of nowhere. When scientists traced its path through space, they found something shocking. It entered from almost the exact same angle as Oumuamua and Borisov. 3 separate interstellar visitors, years apart, all gliding in through a narrow 5-degree band. Statistically, that should almost never happen. Random rocks don't line up like that, but coordinated exploration, That's another story. It's like someone is sending them in along the same invisible highway through space. And here's what makes it even more intense. When NASA compared the movement patterns, the similarities were undeniable. Same kind of strange deceleration, same off-the-charts density readings. It's like they're different pieces of the same puzzle, a sequence. Imagine it, not one random visitor, not two, but a series, each getting a little closer to our home planet. And now, Three-Eye Atlas isn't just passing by, it's staying. If that alignment isn't random, then something out there might be watching, learning, and moving with purpose. This is no longer a cosmic coincidence. It's starting to look like a pattern, and patterns in deep space, they don't happen by accident. Now this is the part that made even the calmest scientists freeze. When NASA's ultraviolet observatory scanned Three-Eye Atlas, it picked up a faint emission line, nothing too crazy at first, but then they noticed something no natural object has ever done. That signal pulsed every 22 minutes, perfectly timed, over and over again. Comets don't pulse like clocks. Asteroids don't send repeating signals. That kind of precision only happens when something is controlling it. NASA tried to play it cool, talking about calibration errors, but behind closed doors, the astrophysics chat rooms lit up like wildfire. If this pattern is real, and it held for days, it could mean Three-Eye Atlas isn't just drifting. It might be communicating, maybe not to us, maybe not in a language we understand, but pulsing light at exact intervals? That's deliberate. Think of it like someone knocking on the door of our solar system, not shouting, not blasting, just knocking again and again and again. And for the first time, humanity might not be alone on the other side of that knock. All right, buckle up. Because this part looks like it's ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie. When astronomers pointed the most powerful telescopes on Earth toward Three-Eye Atlas, they saw something surrounding it, a glowing green halo, right? Now, normally that glow means a comet is made of carbon chains reacting to sunlight. Simple chemistry. But here's the twist. Three-Eye Atlas doesn't have those carbon chains. In other words, the glow isn't natural. Some scientists think it might be a kind of plasma field. Others say it could be an electromagnetic shell, almost like an invisible shield. And here's why that's wild. If the object really is hollow, it should have torn itself apart months ago, but it hasn't. It's stable, perfectly stable. That means something is holding it together. And if that green halo isn't just pretty light, it could be technology. Think of it as a force field, something designed to protect, stabilize, or even power this thing. This isn't how space rocks behave. This is how spacecraft behave. Whatever Three Atlas is, it's not playing by the universe's natural rules. It's playing by its own. All right, this is where things get seriously intense. Three-Eye Atlas is on its way toward its perihelion. That's the moment it gets closest to the sun. And if whoever or whatever controls this thing wanted to make a move, this would be the perfect time. Closed doors, NASA's planetary defense teams are already running quiet emergency drills, not because Three-Eye Atlas is on a collision course, but because it might stay. If it locks into orbit between Mars and Jupiter, it would become the first interstellar object ever to permanently remain inside our solar system. And it's not just space agencies watching. The moment whispers of controlled deceleration leaked, financial markets reacted fast, stocks dipped, rumors exploded, and every government with a telescope started paying attention. The question isn't just what Three-Eye Atlas is anymore. It's who might be behind it. Its motion isn't random. Its structure isn't natural. Its signal isn't accidental. And now it might be performing a hidden maneuver behind the sun that could change its path forever. Think about what that means. For decades, we've looked at the stars and wondered if something out there was watching us, But what if they're not just watching? What if they've already arrived? Three-Eye Atlas could be the first footstep of something far bigger. This isn't just space news. This could be the moment the human race looks up and realizes we're no longer alone. Time to do it. Here's why. When a spacecraft swings close to a star, it can perform something called an Oberth maneuver. That's when you use the sun's gravity like a giant slingshot, boosting speed, or changing direction with minimal energy. It's basically how you pull off a big move without being noticed. And guess what? From Earth's point of view, when Three-Eye Atlas goes behind the sun, we won't see a thing. No telescopes, no radar, nothing. If it fires up whatever propulsion system is controlling it, the world will only realize it after it reappears on a completely different course. NASA engineers are already whispering behind the scenes, because if this object really changes direction while hidden behind the sun, that would prove it beyond doubt. It's not drifting, it's flying. Think about that for a second. A hollow object wrapped in a green energy field, slowing down deliberately, pulsing signals like a heartbeat, and now potentially pulling off a maneuver straight out of an advanced flight manual. That's not a space rock. That's a ship, and if it moves, the entire world is going to feel the impact of that moment. This is where the story stops feeling like a discovery and starts feeling like a turning point for humanity. Behind closed doors, NASA's planetary defense teams are already running quiet emergency drills, not because Three-Eye Atlas is on a collision course, but because it might stay. If it locks into orbit between Mars and Jupiter, it would become the first interstellar object ever to permanently remain inside our solar system. And it's not just space agencies watching. The moment whispers of controlled deceleration leaked, financial markets reacted fast, stocks dipped, rumors exploded, and every government with a telescope started paying attention. The question isn't just what Three-Eye Atlas is anymore. It's who might be behind it. Its motion isn't random. Its structure isn't natural. Its signal isn't accidental. And now it might be performing a hidden maneuver behind the sun that could change its path forever. Think about what that means. For decades, we've looked at the stars and wondered if something out there was watching us. But what if they're not just watching? What if they've already arrived? Three-Eye Atlas could be the first footstep of something far bigger. This isn't just space news. This could be the moment the human race looks up and realizes we're no longer alone.